drag. Whoa! This is
Brett screwed Brett.
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Brett screwed Brett.
Hold 2 on bar.
Hey, get a nice shot of the brand new Mr. and Mrs. Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate your hat. I hate your t-shirts. I hate your wristbands. I hate your shoes. I hate your music. I hate the C-Nation. I hate everything that you stand for.
So does Rule.
Yeah, they do.
Hold 3. The moss covered. 3-handle family Gradunzo.
Live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., this is the RCWR Show with your host, Lee Sanders.
And a very good Monday night to you all. This is the Black Avenger Lee Sanders coming at you live right now on blogtalkradio.com/the RCWR Show. Also on InfinityOneProductions.com. Matt, shout out to those of you that are joining us right now for this very special and rare Monday night appearance that we are making as we are joining WWE Raw live in progress right now, where the main attraction of the night is who Mick Foley and CM Punk will be picking for their respective teams as they'll be going head-to-head at Survivor Series. For those of you that do not want to hear the current results that's happening live in progress right now, we have you covered. What we're going to do, usually we go right on ahead and we talk through whatever is happening as Raw is live in progress, but this seems pretty major right now. We just want to go on ahead and run right through it. Normally we would not cover the live results in progress, but since we do have that Hurricane Sandy that is affecting a lot of eastern shores on the East Coast, we know there's a lot of you wrestling fans that unfortunately are not able to watch Raw tonight, so we have you covered. All right, so it looks like right now Mick Foley has picked the team of Kane and Daniel Bryan, Team Hell No, to join him. Also, it looks like we have Kofi Kingston that's going to be joining Mick Foley as well. Again, Team Hell No, consisting of Kane and Daniel Bryan, have joined Team Mick Foley. Also, Kofi Kingston has joined Team Foley. We are joining WWE Raw in progress right now while we are waiting for Mick Foley to announce the other participants of who will be forming his team. Here's what CM Punk recruited for his team. We have Miz, Cody Rhodes, and Damian Sandow, Team Rhodes Scholars, and Alberto Del Rio. Once again, CM Punk's team consists of Miz, Cody Rhodes, Damian Sandow, and Alberto Del Rio. We are now going to Mick Foley, who is making his selections live in progress right now on WWE Raw, coming from Charlotte, North Carolina. And Randy Orton has just selected the Viper, Randy Orton. So at this point, Mick Foley only has one person left to pick. If you have been keeping track, looks like he needs to go possibly with Ryback. Let's see if our math is right over here, folks. We got Randy Orton, Team Hell No, that's 3. Kofi Kingston, that's 4. Plus Mick Foley. What's happening here? So either Mick Foley is going to be the 5th man, or it's going to be Ryback that's going to be going in his place. We are seeing CM Punk talking with Mick Foley right now, promising that he's going to humiliate the hell out of him at the Survivor Series pay-per-view. For those of you that are joining us in the chat room right now, if you happen to be watching WWE Raw, you have signal over where you are right now. I know Mick Foley had briefly touched Ryback. If you can let me know what had happened with regards to Ryback, because I know Mick Foley mentioned Ryback I guess we're about to find out right now. And it's official. Ryback is joining Team Foley. It's official. Ryback is joining Team Mick Foley. So that completes it. All right. So let's recap, folks. For Team Foley, we have Randy Orton. We have Kane and Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, and Mr. Feed Me More, Ryback, against CM Punk's team of Miz, Cody Rhodes, Damian Sandow, Alberto Del Rio, and CM Punk. We just saw Ryback come out to complete the roster as all hell has broken loose in the middle of the ring. Ryback is going straight for the WWE Champion right now, but once again, CM Punk, alongside his acquaintance, Mr. Paul Heyman, have left the ring, and they are heading towards the backstage area as all the carnage is just continuing to erupt inside of the ring right now, as we see Ryback just staring toe-to-toe, eyes-to-eyes, locked on at the WWE Champion. And all hell just continue to break loose right now as we see the WWE Champion, CM Punk. He does not want a piece of Ryback tonight. CM Punk holding his WWE Championship up high. Yes, you may be still the reigning WWE Champion for now your 344th day, but sooner or later you're going to get what's coming to you. We see Ryback. He's got that fist clutch going right now. He's looking for that meat hook clothesline, and he just connected it with Cody Rhodes, sending a very powerful statement to the WWE Champion as he continues to lock his eyes on Punk and Heyman. Cold-hearted stare down right here between these two men as they came off of a great match at Hell in a Cell. But wait, Ryback is not done. Eyes continue to be locked on the WWE Champion as he picks up Cody Rhodes, and he is looking for Hellshock, and he connects with it. Once again, eyes continue to be locked on the WWE Champion. Cody Rhodes laying prone as Mr. Ryback delivers his trademark catchphrase, "Feed me more, feed me more, feed me more." You know, that's exactly what I usually say at the Old Country Buffet just about once a month every time I go there. I say, "Feed me more," and I leave a nice big fat tip for the waitress. And that, folks, concludes WWE Raw. I think that was pretty good. I apologize if it sounded a little tacky there, giving you guys the live results. I try to sound as energetic as possible, as I really was into what we had just saw there. We welcome you guys that is checking out a special episode of the RCWR show right now, coming at you live on October 29th, 2012, coming at you 9 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour. Thank you guys for staying up with us. We're actually going to try to do a brief show tonight, but then at the same time, I guess, since pretty much everybody on the East Coast doesn't have to go to work tomorrow and doesn't have to go to school tomorrow, I guess we can go at our own leisure right here. Now, we know that there were a ton of you guys that unfortunately was not able to see tonight's WWE Raw, as we got that Hurricane Sandy, which has just sidelined a lot of you all. Many of you are without power right now, as the storm has yet to see its worst, as the worst is yet to come, and it will be coming sometime in the wee hours of the night. We're hearing that it's going to be between the hours in particular of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Can't stress it enough. We were on the air this past Sunday night covering the fallout from the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Can't stress it enough. If you do not have to go out in that weather, please value your life. Stay indoors. Wait it out. Hopefully you have electricity where you are, and if you do, you can just kick on back, watch yourself some Netflix, watch yourself a good movie, a cartoon, something. There's something good on Netflix. You won't be bored, trust me. Hey, you can kick back and play some video games. True story for those of you that's looking for that new WWE 13 video game. Well, unfortunately, as far as GameStop goes, today none of the GameStops, from what I've been able to gather, were opened on the East Coast. There was a ton of them that was closed. Now, in our area, the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, none of the GameStops were open. It was just pretty much your call, and the phone was just ringing. And it's so funny because on Raw tonight, they had the audacity not once but 3 times plugging the WWE 13 video game. And each time they were announcing the game, I'm saying to myself, won't they just add that little stipulation in there that, yeah, WWE 13 is going to be coming out tomorrow, but for those of you in the East Coast, you're going to be shit out of luck because we got Hurricane Sandy. So I know there's many of you that are eagerly anticipating this game right now, and you just are not going to be able to get it, not unless you happen to be good friends with somebody at GameStop and you were able to get a copy on the down low before the storm hit. You're lucky. Of course, Postal Service, Federal, all that is just closed right now. So those of you that have placed your orders for the game online and you're hoping that UPS or whoever, it's not going to be happening. Looks like your best bet, you probably won't actually have that game until about maybe Thursday or Friday. So we really feel for you guys. We really do. But for those of you that want to know what's going on with that WWE 13 game, if you're a little bit on the fence, as there were many of you that were on the fence when it came to WWE 12, hey, we feel you on that. Make sure you check out the RCWR Show Weekend Report this Saturday. We're actually going to give an in-depth full review of that video game. And when I mean in-depth full review of the video game, it's not going to be, oh, yeah, the game is good, 5 stars. No, I'm not going to hit you up with that. We're actually going to dedicate at least 10 minutes talking about the game, what's working, what doesn't work, whether or not it is really living up to the hype right now. So make sure that you check that out. You'll be able to do so this Saturday. Hey, we got a chat room that's open up right now. Feel free to jump on in there. It's at blogtalkradio.com. You know, you can interact with us all throughout the night. Let us know what you had thought about Raw. For you Monday Night Football fans, those of you that might be a little bit curious right now that have planned on checking out the San Francisco game as San Fran is taking on the Arizona Cardinals, that game is still on right now. I'll have a score for you guys in just a little bit as they're cutting away to the commentators right now. It is the fourth quarter with 6 minutes and some change left. Third down, San Francisco is beating the Arizona Cardinals 24-3. Not really that much time left in this final quarter. Maybe, just maybe, Arizona has a shot at making a comeback, but I highly doubt it. You could consider this game to be in the books right here. But once again, San Francisco is beating the Arizona Cardinals 24-3 with 5 minutes and change left in the fourth quarter as San Francisco has a new set of downs right now. So keep you guys posted on the game throughout the night during the course of this episode. You know, you can also interact with us right now on Facebook. You can hit us up at Infinity One Productions. While you're at it, like our page, befriend us. Not too many people are aware that they can befriend us. Also take the time out to interact with us on Twitter at Infinity One Prod. All right, so we're just coming fresh off the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and it's a night where if you saw the pay-per-view, there was 1 to 3 major headlines there that jumped out at you that had you sit up and say, my God, I just got to see what's going to happen on Raw tonight. And we saw a few things that was noteworthy, as really the build right now is all about what's going to be happening at the Survivor Series pay-per-view. For those of you that were unfortunate, not able to check Raw tonight, we got you covered. We got the full results. Let's kick it up from the very top as we had the WWE Champion CM Punk come out with his assistant, Paul Heyman, to address what all had happened at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, as there was that controversial finish from that referee, Brian Maddox, who just gave a low blow to Mr. Ryback, the number one contender, to face the WWE champion Brian Maddox, doing that low blow to Ryback, helping CM Punk retain his championship belt. We saw CM Punk go on record tonight and say that he did not have anything to do with the decision-making process from referee Maddox, and that basically if he's guilty of anything, he is just guilty of taking advantage of a situation, but he is in no way affiliated with this man, who he actually pointed out had cost him a match just last month on an episode of Raw. He's kind of under the impression that maybe Maddox was looking for some type of redemption. Maybe that's why he did what he did at Sunday's pay-per-view. Who knows? But CM Punk stresses he did not have anything to do with that decision-making process. That was Maddox, all on his own, folks. And with regards to Maddox, surprisingly, he did not make an appearance at this pay-per-view tonight. So there's another little mystery that's going on right there. What's going on with Maddox? Why did he do what he did? When is he going to surface again? Who knows? But I'll touch up more on that in just a little bit, folks. You're definitely going to like a lot of the things that I have to say here. But we had saw the hardcore legend Mick Foley come out, and he confronted the WWE champion and told him, hey, Punk, I gave you an opportunity to prove yourself worthy in a traditional type of match. I gave you the opportunity to prove that either you were going to be a statistic or you were going to set your mark in WWE history, and you blew it. And we see Mick Foley just bashing the WWE champion over the way CM Punk had retained his title. And CM Punk just countered right back at the hardcore legend, letting him know, hey, see these marks that's on my body? You see what I had went through? I'm sorry, I'm not going to go through a glorified type of match like you did and sacrificing your body, doing stupid gimmick matches. At this point, CM Punk, the only thing he's really high off of right now, folks, is continuing to be the WWE champion for now, the 344th consecutive day. And at this rate, if he continues for another 2 weeks, I believe it is, he's going to surpass Kevin Nash, and he's going to lock in at number 9 on greatest WWE champion reigns of all time, longest reigns, that is. So we see Mick Foley livid still at what CM Punk had did, and CM Punk, he basically calls out Mick Foley and says, you know what, if I didn't know any better, I would say that you want a piece of me. Well, got a proposition for you. How about you get some of your best guys to take me on at Survivor Series in 3 weeks? Mick Foley, he jumps at the opportunity. Game on, so it's now set. Both of these two guys, they are just scattering throughout the night trying to figure out who all they're going to be recruiting. So that lets you know what to anticipate for tonight. Strong opening right there for Raw. I just love that whole chemistry there between CM Punk, Mick Foley. Hey, even Ryback had popped up in there as he was looking for a little bit of retribution from what happened at Sunday's pay-per-view, but we quickly saw the WWE champion and Paul Heyman leave. Now, Vicky Guerrero, realizing that Ryback wanted to be fed, she went on ahead and hooked him up with a match, and we had Ryback taking on JTG. Now, you know what? I'm not trying to get all racial here. So for those of you that kind of sit up and say, damn, Lee sounds racist, I just want to first say I'm a brother. I may not sound like a brother, but you get me off the air and you give me a couple of bottles of Jack Daniels, some Smirnoff, and some other good, tasty little alcoholic beverages, I'll be sounding real ghetto. But the main thing I want to say about this match, was I the only one that noticed how bad Ryback was beating JTG. I mean, Zed, my man, you did pretty good tonight, man. Some of your tweets, I was checking you out. Some of your tweets, I was actually thinking the same thing, brother. I just saw the way Ryback was beating up poor JTG. And as a brother, I said, man, is Ryback beating up this poor guy the way that he's beating him up because he's black? Because I have never seen Ryback beat up a brother the way he was beating up poor JTG. It just had me kind of go, ooh, just end it already. And he did end the match, picked up an impressive victory over there, really just made chump change out of JTG. Post-match is what I thought was really interesting, though. We saw Josh Matthews interview Mr. Ryback, asking him about the controversial loss to CM Punk. And Ryback actually said more than just 1, 2, 3 words. That's right. Ryback, very smooth, kind of had a Batista vibe going on to himself when he was talking. He said the following, and you can't make this stuff up, and I quote, "Revenge is a confession of pain. I am not hurt. I am hungry. And when I feast again, it will be on CM Punk. Feed me more." And he just goes into that feed me more chant. I was really loving that right there. I said, wow, all right, go ahead, brother Ryback. Ryback was able to form more than 3 words. Nice little vocabulary there. Brief, to the point. Hell, on point. I was loving everything he was saying right there, even though it was brief. We also got to see Randy Orton in action as he had took on Wade Barrett. Randy Orton, fresh off of an impressive victory over Alberto Del Rio. For those of you that were not able to check out that match between Randy Orton, Alberto Del Rio, I can't stress it enough. When you get your pocket change this week, if you happen to get paid, hey, you want to order that DVD, that pay-per-view, the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, or what I was trying to say, you can wait till it comes out on DVD. Maybe you could ask your friend to maybe burn you a copy of it, or maybe just let you get a burned copy of that match, as really out of 8 matches, there's probably only 3 from that Hell in a Cell pay-per-view that was really on point. And we'll actually be talking more about that Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, as we couldn't help but notice within the 24-hour period since the pay-per-view how many of you were comparing TNA's Bound for Glory to Hell in a Cell. We did some polling, and we're going to let you guys know the results of that. You guys might be a little bit surprised with the results that we were able to find out on that. But, yeah, that Randy Orton Alberto Del Rio match really was just off the chain. And, of course, by Randy Orton picking up that victory, that just created a lot of buzz as far as, okay, so is Randy Orton officially on that rise to becoming a number 1 contender for either the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship? And that answer really could not be solidified even more than seeing him in the match that he had with Wade Barrett. Very impressive. You know, it had me have reminiscences of their feud, what was it, late 2011 going into early this year. I was just having great flashbacks of their rivalry. Who could forget that infamous episode where they were fighting on SmackDown in the elevator and all throughout the office, and it ended up in the stairs, and then all of a sudden we see Wade Barrett just looking down as apparently he threw Randy Orton down a flight of steps, and Randy Orton, he just went MIA after that because he had a serious injury that he needed to take care of. You know, it just really brought back a lot of great memories when I saw these 2 guys lock it up tonight. You know how I am with Wade Barrett, folks. I've been very passionate about Wade Barrett. I love the guy. I want him to be right back up there where he was before he left the company. Doesn't quite leave me with a good taste in my mouth, knowing that Barrett lost to Randy Orton tonight. But I will go on record and say that Wade Barrett is on the right path. He's going in that right direction right now. Great match. Both of them look very impressive in this. RKO defeats Wade Barrett. We also saw the team of Hell No, Kane and Daniel Bryan, as they had took on the primetime players, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, fresh off of their defeat to the team of Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, as they suffered a defeat at the hands of Team Hell No, despite Team Hell No, again, having miscommunication problems where the two tag champions are trying to outperform one another. Sooner or later, one of these tag teams truly have to take advantage of the miscommunication that is just going on between Kane and Daniel Bryan. Who might that tag team be? I'm going with the Intellectual Saviors, Team Cody Rhodes. And for you guys that did not check the pay-per-view out, Team Cody Rhodes there, they were very close to getting those tag belts. I just feel it's going to be a matter of time before they're going to be able to get those belts. Also, we saw a lukewarm segment. It was a segment where I just really could not wait for it to end. And I'm sure all of you know exactly the segment I'm talking about here if you had watched it tonight. The segment between John Cena and Vicky Guerrero. Talk about that was really a freaking snoozer. Unfortunately, I've got to run this down, so I'll try to go through this quickly as I can. Pretty much, Vicky Guerrero calls out John Cena, brings this so-called evidence that she has to light, proving that John Cena is, in fact, having some type of a relationship with AJ Lee, which, of course, had resulted in poor little AJ losing her job as the Raw GM. Now, the evidence that Vicky Guerrero shows, very freaking weak, too, man. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. All right, it goes as follows for the evidence that she had here. We see her present this footage from 3 weeks ago where John Cena had jokingly said to AJ, look, maybe you and me could hang out. Maybe I could take you out on a date. I could take you out to In-N-Out Burger. John Cena counters right back. He said, look, the WWE Universe, AJ, they all knew that I was just being a goofball, just playing around. That was just a joke. Vicky Guerrero, she's like, okay, well then how do you explain this? And then the next footage that she shows is John Cena hugging AJ, and it was like in a slow-mo type of fashion. John Cena's like, okay, you know damn well, Vicky, that AJ had just found out that she had to step down as the Raw GM, and I was consoling her. She was really in a rough spot right there. Vicky Guerrero's like, okay, well then how do you explain this? So she shows a still image of John Cena, AJ, they're at this nice little candlelight type of restaurant, and they actually do look like they have this googly eye thing going on as they're looking at one another. John Cena looks like a nerve might have been pushed a little bit. He kind of has a ticked-off look in his face, but he remains diligent. He says, look, that was nothing. It was just two friends having a business dinner, talking about business. We were actually talking about if I was going to be 100% healed in time to return to the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view possibly. Vicky Guerrero, notice here, folks, she just keeps getting shot down. She really doesn't have anything. Well, she shows one last footage, and it is a video footage that is shown from a perspective of somebody being behind a wall, like around the corner type of deal, that shows John Cena getting in an elevator, and we see AJ. She's kind of got this googly eye look, and she's kind of talking to Cena. You don't hear what's going on. It's inaudible. You're just able to just, you know it's them. You can see them as clear as day. So you're just going based off of the body language. You see Cena go in the elevator, and it kind of, there's suggestions here that kind of comes off as if John Cena is saying to AJ Lee, come on, girl, come get some of this. And so we see AJ get in the elevator, and at this point, John Cena, he is just really pissed off. He's not really offering any words right here. And from there, we see Dolph Ziggler. He pops up, and he mentions John Cena's, AJ's name in the same sentence, basically trying to tell Cena to cough up the truth. We see John Cena choke out Dolph Ziggler and say to him, look, say whatever you want to say, but don't you ever mention my name and AJ Lee's name in the same sentence again. And we see Cena push Dolph Ziggler on his ass to end that. Now that we've seen at least 2-3 times now, I want to say 3 times now, we have seen John Cena, Dolph Ziggler rub off each other. It's definitely safe to say right here that these two guys, they're destined to go head-to-head. Now, I am just really getting this impression, and I'd be shocked if it didn't happen here, but I'm really getting this impression that we could see John Cena and Dolph Ziggler collide as early as Survivor Series. Now, I'm not really sure how some of you guys feel about that, but I actually love this. I actually welcome it. It is a nice combination, I think. It's a welcome breath of fresh air. I know there's that hardcore WWE audience that is always complaining about, we want new rivalries, we want new matches. Well, you're kind of getting something new here from Dolph Ziggler and John Cena, and the ingredients that have been placed, it's got everything needed to be a damn good match. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the rest of this plays out. But it, without a doubt, looks like they're destined to go head-to-head. Hopefully it can be at Survivor Series. I would think that it would be at the Survivor Series, considering how we got a bunch of guys that's already booked for a 5-on-5 main event match at that pay-per-view in 3 weeks. For you guys that are into the football there, San Francisco, they did beat the Arizona Cardinals there. Go figure. So that ends that. We'll get you guys the official score as it becomes available. All right, so let's talk about what else had happened next, as we had saw Antonio Cesaro and Kofi Kingston have a match. Miz was at ringside. He was offering commentating, and he picked his right little moment to get the jump on Kofi Kingston. Now, we actually did see Kofi Kingston get a victory over Antonio Cesaro, and I definitely want to touch this match for a second. In particular, I want to talk about Cesaro. Now, we had offended a couple of people as we were interacting with those of you on Twitter. Now, I was mainly watching Raw, but there was a select few I was interacting with on my Twitter handle, and Zed was doing his thing as usual on the Infinity One Prod Twitter handle. And Zed had caught some heat for talking about Antonio Cesaro. Now, Zed basically had said that Cesaro, the current gimmick that he has right now, it really needs some tweaking. And few people actually, they had hit him up saying, Antonio Cesaro is the fucking man. Oh, he's the shit. Lay off of him. Leave him alone. And, Zed actually had to kind of defend himself there and, say why he was saying what he was saying. And it was weird because the comments that was coming to him was from people that wasn't even following our handle. So that was just really kind of kind of cuckoo there. And, this is the bottom line I got to say about Antonio Cesaro. I've been saying it time and time and time again. I can't stress it enough, and I will continue to say it until I see something more constructive happen with Antonio Cesaro, which is Cesaro has not been the same since Ascana had got separated from him. The guy just really has came off as if he's just been trying to find himself. That's really how he's been coming off. And, it seems like there's these weird experimentations that's been going on with Cesaro in the past several weeks. Now, look, I've been an Antonio Cesaro fan since I first saw him pop up on the SmackDown brand months back. And I love his in-ring work. I love the guy tremendously. He's got a nice look. He's got a unique style. I love the guy. But his gimmick needs some tweaks. And Zed, my bro, I give you nothing but props. I think you said it on point, man. You say, hey, Cesaro, he's got the moves, he's got the in-ring ability, but he just needs to get that gimmick down. Once he has that down packed, he's going to be a force to reckon with. I definitely agree with that 100%. He has all the right potential in the world. He just needs to fine-tune the hell out of that gimmick, because honestly, as much as I love watching him in the ring, you can only go but so far. So, he needs to get that down packed, and hopefully he can find himself, find that little niche. I think WWE, they know what they have. I think they're going to be very patient with him, and they're going to run their course, see if he can grow into his own skin there, and once he does, it's going to be all set. But until then, we got to deal with how we got Cesaro right now, and right now, I think Scooter had said it best when he was on our 100th episode of the RCWR show last Tuesday. Cesaro right now, he's just a good filler. He has that United States Championship right now. He's just a good transitional champion right now. He's a good filler. WWE is filling him out right now. So, it is what it is. But let's go now to Vicky Guerrero, who had extended an invitation to AJ Lee to come on to tonight's Raw. And she had presented the evidence, and she basically told AJ that the WWE Board of Directors have given her the power to hire AJ Lee in any position that she sees fit. And basically, she offers AJ a job so long as AJ admits that she has, in fact, been in some type of a relationship with John Cena. Now, AJ Lee, she lets Vicky Guerrero know that as much as she loves the WWE, she's not going to sit up and cater to Vicky Guerrero's demands, because nothing happened between herself and John Cena, so she declines the job offer on that stipulation. From there, we see Vicky Guerrero say to AJ Lee, okay, well, wait a minute. Look, you're hired so long as you never lay a hand on me again. AJ Lee, she accepts those terms. But wait, Vicky Guerrero isn't done quite yet. AJ Lee's first task is a match that she'll be having with the Glamazon Beth Phoenix. So, the 90-pound AJ Lee, cute little button, is having her match against Beth Phoenix. And for those of you that were not able to check out the 49ers taking on the Cardinals, the final score for that game was 24-13. 49ers win 24-13. Talk about a beating right there. All right, so we had that match between Beth Phoenix and Little Miss AJ, and we saw AJ pull an upset. She was able to score a victory with a roll-up, and Vicky Guerrero had came out, and she tells AJ, hey, you have to prove yourself a little more. I'm not really impressed with what I saw. You should know better, AJ. Let's restart the match. Beth Phoenix, she attacks AJ from behind, delivers the glam slam, picks up the victory. Now, later on in a backstage segment, we see John Cena talking with AJ Lee, very sore about the loss that she just suffered. John Cena gives her a brief hug, lets her know that he's going to do everything he can to try to make everything right. Now, meantime, Vicky Guerrero, she's chilling in the back area, kind of like behind a curtain or something. She's seeing these two hugging each other, so as far as Vicky is concerned, she's got a little bit more ammo she can use against the two. As from there, we see Beth Phoenix come up from behind Vicky Guerrero, thanking her for the assist on the victory. Vicky Guerrero telling Beth Phoenix she would have not had to do that if Beth Phoenix would have got the job right the first time. And unfortunately for you hardcore Beth Phoenix fans, myself included, we saw Vicky Guerrero fire Beth Phoenix right there on the spot. Beth Phoenix, you knew it was just a matter of time. We had reported it late September, I believe it was, that Beth Phoenix was going to be tying up all ends with the WWE. She was going to be wrapping things up in October, and it looks like that is it. Beth Phoenix, she really has her eyes set on helping her boyfriend, for WWE Hall of Famer Edge, rated R superstar, with his recovery, as he's due to be having some surgery soon to repair all that damage that he's taken in the ring over the years, and she's trying to make that transition to acting. So Beth Phoenix with her swan song, and of all the times I wish WWE really would have gone to bat and really tried to do everything in their power to try to see if they can keep Beth Phoenix around. I'm really going to miss her. I felt that she made a really great impact on the Divas division when she was being utilized properly, and I so understand where she's coming from. Just from what all we've been seeing on television within recent weeks, it just seems like, they just did her wrong when it's all said and done. There's really no way to really go around it. It is what it is. You call it how you see it, and it just really came off as if they just did her wrong on so many levels. Hopefully she'll be able to rebound. Like we said a couple of weeks ago, 9 times out of 10, she's probably going to kick back, weigh in all her options, try to figure out what will be the best career move that she can do. But in the meantime, at least she's able to kick back, relax with her boyfriend Edge, kick back with family, rest up, enjoy the social life for a bit before deciding whether or not she wants to get back into wrestling. Honestly, I would hope that she does get back into wrestling, because I feel that she has a lot more that she can offer to the wrestling industry. She just needs to be paired up with that right company that can truly give her that creative freedom and give her that encouragement that she needs to be able to do what she does best, which is putting on a damn good fucking match in the ring. All right, moving right along now, we saw a awkward segment, probably one of the worst segments of Raw tonight, which was the 3-man band, which consisted of Heath Slater, Jinder Mahal, and Drew McIntyre, and they have their own little bootleg version of Behind the Music, talking just, God, it was really hard for me to get into this. These guys just suck. No disrespect to Heath Slater. I've been a fan of Heath Slater. I love the work that he did with the WWE Legends a while back, losing to them week after week after week. I just kind of feel that this whole 3-man band, I missed when it was just all about him. It has potential, guys, don't get me wrong. And for you veteran WWE fans or veteran wrestling fans, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that it does have the greatest potential, because when you think about it, who does the 3-man band remind you of? When you think about those old school type of trio stables there, just think about it for a second. With the current gimmick that they got going on, they got little hints of the West Texas Rednecks. For those of you, if that sounds a little familiar, that was the team that had consisted of Bobby Duncombe, Barry Windham, Kendall Windham, Curly Bill, and of course, the late Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. It's got a little bit of reminiscences in there. That's right, Dave. WCW. They got little hints of that stable when I look at them. Rap is crap. For those of you that don't know what the hell I'm talking about, you go on YouTube after this show or during this show, maybe when we take a commercial break, you look up the West Texas Rednecks, you look up Rap is Crap. You'll kind of see what I'm talking about as far as the similarities that the 3MB have with that stable, but then also they remind me a little bit of the Fabulous Freebirds, a little bit of Michael P.S. Hayes, Buddy Roberts, Terry Gordy, Jimmy Garvin. They got some nice little traces of the Freebirds as well. They got certain ingredients, but I can't quite put my finger on it. There's just something about the three-man band that just makes them suck. They have potential. I don't know, maybe it could come more in time as these guys get more comfortable with each other and they can actually make some really good, relevant segments. But for right now, I just can't stand these guys. I would rather just see Heath Slater. I honestly do not care anything about Drew McIntyre, who was dubbed at one point to be the chosen one. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're the chosen one, all right. You're the chosen one that's going to continue to be buried in WWE. So the guy has just been repackaged so many times. It's freaking ridiculous. Jinder Mahal, he's got good size. He's got a nice look about him. But that's about as far as it goes. Heath Slater, I can remember an earlier incarnation of Heath Slater, and I didn't think he was going to last in the WWE that long. And then when he started repackaging himself as the one-man band, slowly but surely, he definitely won me over. He won a lot of wrestling fans over. So he's come a long way. I just feel he doesn't need to be tied down to these guys. I just kind of get the impression that they're kind of slowing down his momentum a little bit. They're actually kind of hurting him. Honestly, I think it would have been a little bit more cooler if Heath Slater would have teamed up with the Primetime Players to form the three-man band. I think that would have had a nice, better vibe to it, really, when you think about it. We also had got to see, speaking of the three-man band, we actually had got to see them in action as they had took on Santino and Zack Ryder. They made quick work of them, picked up a nice little victory right there. We got some great news for you Jerry Lawler fans. Jerry Lawler is going to be returning to Raw in 2 weeks. Jerry Lawler has not been on WWE Raw television since having that heart attack, last month in Montreal. So it's going to be a really emotional night, and hopefully it'll have the right type of crowd reaction when he comes back to Raw. We also had got to see Sheamus talking about the loss that he has suffered at the hands of Big Show at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Sheamus still smiling, promising that he's going to win back his World Heavyweight Championship, promising that the next time him and Big Show collide, it's not only going to be a fight, it's not just going to be a brawl, it's going to be a war, but at the end of the war, he's going to be coming out on top. Also, we got to let you guys know about a really cool segment of the show that had happened in the WWE tonight on Raw, where it was Vince McMahon and the entire WWE roster cutting a check to the Susan G. Komen Foundation in the amount of $1 million. That's right. WWE cutting the Susan G. Komen Foundation a check for $1 million. A really great moment right there. I only have one concern about this particular segment. I wish that it would have happened perhaps after Raw had went off the air, and maybe it could have been something that could have been just for those in attendance, and maybe they could have done like an exclusive WWE.com video. It just really kind of fell out of element And I know Zed earlier, he ticked off more. Well, I won't say ticked off. That's the wrong word. But he had some poor choice words that he had said on Twitter. And, for those of you that like to follow some of the things that we say on our Twitter handle at Infinity One Prod, I want you to bear this in mind. 9 times out of 10, the person that is putting out all the tweets is Zed. Usually, if myself and co-producer Tammy, if we are going to be taking over that handle, there's usually an announcement made so that you know who you're going to be interacting with. And, in this case, Zed was the head honcho tonight. And I see exactly what Zed had said, but unfortunately, that's the thing about Twitter. That's the beautiful thing about Twitter. It's only, 125, 140 characters, and you have to make your point. And I see exactly what Zed was trying to say, and basically to sum up what Zed was saying was, okay, it's pretty obvious who the poster child is for the WWE, which is John Cena, not the WWE champion CM Punk. Now, we all know that John Cena is the spokesperson for the Susan G. Komen Foundation, as it was pretty much his idea. He brought it to the WWE that they should get associated with the Susan G. Komen Foundation, and he's really been that driving force for it, wearing special colors, all of that. You're not going to get any arguments from me about that. But, however, the one question that I do have concern with, again, for that particular segment, again, cutting them that check for $1 million, it just really felt out of the element there. I think it would have sufficed had they done that at the top of the hour. That way they could have just gotten it out the way and they could have just went on with the show. It just really felt just totally out of context. It kind of messed up the flow a little bit of the show. And that's why I'm suggesting that it should have happened either at the beginning of Raw, right before they went into everything for that night, or it should have happened after Raw went off the air. And to follow up on what Zed said, yeah, I do kind of see what he's talking about. And given at that point when the segment aired, and notice CM Punk, as far as we were able to tell, I actually had recorded it on my DVR. I didn't even see CM Punk there in attendance, as that whole WWE roster was at the top of the stage with Vince McMahon. I didn't even see CM Punk. I didn't even see Paul Heyman. So, if you're going to be going that route, then yeah, maybe you should be doing it at the beginning of the show or once it goes off the air. Some of y'all may not like some of the things that Zed may say on Twitter, but I want you guys to keep this in mind. Zed is going to just, if you don't like what Zed says, just pass the tweet along. Zed is just, really Zed's mentality is he's just providing the raw results. That's his first agenda. If he's able to do a little bit of interaction as the show progresses, then fine. But his main objective is just to put out the tweets, talk about what he's looking at. That's pretty much it. When it's all said and done, this is the RCWR show. I'm the Black Avenger Lee Sanders. I got the final say on what had happened for that night. So don't really pay too much into what Zed is saying, because you guys don't even know how Zed sounds. And quite honestly, he sounds like a damn dork. Love you, Zed. Anyway, let's go on ahead and let's talk about the rest of what happened on tonight's card. Quick rundown here. We saw Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio. They had took on the team of Team Rhodes Scholars. That was probably one of the best matches of the night. Team Rhodes Scholars picking up the victory right there. Alberto Del Rio, Justin Gabriel coming fresh off of defeat at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Del Rio to Randy Orton, Justin Gabriel to Antonio Cesaro. So you got these two guys going at it. Somebody needs a little bit of momentum going into this week. Alberto Del Rio would pick up that momentum. And in the main event, the main attraction of the night, as we had mentioned at the top of the show, For those of you that were not able to catch that, we saw the teams for CM Punk and Mick Foley form, as we now know which 5-on-5 team members are going to be taking place at that Survivor Series pay-per-view coming in 3 weeks. For CM Punk, he has Miz, Cody Rhodes, and Damian Sandow, and Alberto Del Rio. There's Team CM Punk, as they'll be taking on Mick Foley's team of Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan and Kane, Kofi Kingston, and Mr. Feed Me More Ryback. So really nice that they are going to be doing this 5-on-5 Survivor Series traditional tag. I had to do a little brief research there, try to re-jog my memory, figure out what was the last time we had got a Survivor Series matchup, and we did see something at last year's Survivor Series. For those of you that need a quick little memory jog, remember it was the team of Wade Barrett, which consisted of Cody Rhodes, Jack Swagger, Hunico, and Dolph Ziggler, as they defeated the team of Randy Orton, Sheamus, Mason Ryan, Kofi Kingston, and Sin Cara. How much a difference a year makes, as out of all those names that I just mentioned that was at that Survivor Series from last year, a good chunk of those names you don't see in the WWE anymore, at least not on WWE television. Overall, pretty solid episode of WWE Raw, yet at the same time, I couldn't wait for it to end, as they just had some really lame segments that was happening there. We saw some pretty good matches. I would have to say this week, WWE Raw, they, without a doubt, I would give them a modest 7 out of 10. Kind of unfortunate, because I was expecting a little bit more of a bigger pop coming fresh off of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. One thing that was a little bit disturbing to me during this, we see Vicky Guerrero sit up and say that while she is the supervising manager of Raw, she wants to make sure that she does things right, and basically she's trying to make sure that she puts herself in a position where she's going to be able to win that coveted spot of the permanent Raw general manager. I dig that, right? But here's the thing. When you have a referee that interferes in a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view match, shouldn't the mentality be, okay, I want this referee, I want his ass, bring him to me? It really would have been nice to see Vicky Guerrero put some type of statement out there that, hey, Brian Maddox, you're out of a job as a referee. You need to explain yourself. If you don't, I'm going to be filing charges against you. You messed up one of our main event matches. I mean, just think about the storyline there for a second, folks. And I just think that it's something that WWE kind of had a missed opportunity moment right here. How badass would that have been if you go to the WWE.com's website and you read an article that says WWE Incorporated have filed charges on Brian Maddox. Police are currently looking for him right now, as basically he had sabotaged a main event match or something like that. He didn't live up to his contractual obligations or something like that. It just really would have been kind of nice to kind of maybe see something like that happen. Now, I know that's kind of reaching, but I think you guys see where I'm going here. There really should have been some type of strong continuity here to really follow up on that, as you're just kind of left wondering what the hell was the connection with Brian Maddox helping CM Punk. What's going on here? Because you take a look at him, he doesn't quite have that look of a future WWE champion or World Heavyweight champion. Hell, he doesn't even look like he has... God, he doesn't even look like a United States champion or Intercontinental champion. So you're kind of looking at that, you're saying to yourself, well, what the hell is up with this guy? Why are they making something out of nothing with this guy? And to me, it just seems like the longer this storyline progresses, the more unnecessary buzz it's going to be for this guy, unless that's what they want. So I'm very curious what direction they're going to go with this referee guy. But, you know, WWE, they can't keep sitting up and they can't keep insulting you, the WWE fans, because as we have all this stuff that's going on with Vicky Guerrero, who's basically turning a blind eye to what had happened in her main event match, we have her fixated on AJ and John Cena, and in the meanwhile, she's been in some type of a fraternizing relationship of her own with Dolph Ziggler. So how the hell do you explain all that? I know, weird, right? Very weird. But nonetheless, a lackluster episode of Raw. Let's do this right now. We're going to take a very brief commercial break, and then when we come right back, I'm going to share with you guys some polling results where we had asked you, what did you think of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view? And we're going to compare notes, as we also had asked you that had checked out the TNA Bound for Glory pay-per-view a couple of weeks back. What did y'all think of that? We're going to share with you the results of that. Very interesting results right here. We're going to take a very brief commercial break. We'll come right back. We'll jump all into it, open up the phone lines, let you guys know what we got planned for the rest of the week. Checking out the RCWR show coming at you live right now on October 30th, 2012, 2 minutes past midnight. We'll be coming right back, folks. Do hang tight.
Hey, guys, the Black Avenger Lee Sanders here, and I just wanted to take this time out to thank you for checking out this episode tonight. And, you know, if you liked what you had heard tonight and you want more, then be sure to check us out every single Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on this website at blogtalkradio.com. Also on our sister website at InfinityOneProductions.com, where every single week you'll be able to get that wrestling fix, as we'll give you guys the latest fallout from Monday's WWE Raw, share with you the reviews, honest analysis, no BS, no fluff, just what you want when you need it most, and we'll also get you guys caught up on the very latest in WWE wrestling-related headlines and so much more. And the best part about all this is that every single week we will be sharing with you all live fan reactions, as we want to hear from you, whether it is in our active chat room or you're interacting with us as we are live in progress by hitting us up on Twitter at InfinityOneProd, Facebook at InfinityOneProductions.com. We give you the necessary tools that's necessary to be able to interact with us each and every single week. For those of you that like to call into the show, hey, guess what? You'll be able to do that as well. This is the show that is for you, the wrestling fans, to be able to share your thoughts, your reactions, your likes, dislikes to what you had saw from Raw this past Monday night, or whatever's got you talking as far as wrestling-related news. So be sure to check us out every single Tuesday night, as it's our Tuesday night Wrestling Report edition of the RCWR show at 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on blogtalkradio.com/the RCWR show, and at our sister website at InfinityOneProductions.com. Hey, you're going to miss our episode that's live in progress, won't be able to catch up with it until later. That's not a problem. Check us out on the downloads in the iTunes, Zune marketplaces, also on Stitcher, just by using the keywords, the RCWR show.
All right, and we're back. You're listening to a special episode of the RCWR show coming at you live right now. It's officially Tuesday on October 30th, 2012. Black Avenger here, Lee Sanders. Thank you guys for checking out this special episode. Not every day we make a rare Monday night appearance. We actually had this planned a month ago as we said to ourselves, okay, we got the 100th episode that was coming up, and that was last Tuesday, and we just felt like giving back to our loyal listeners for checking out all our shows this month, as you made the month of October be a fantastic fucking strong month for us, as we've seen our best numbers yet since we've been live on the air. The numbers, they just keep continuing to climb and climb and climb. We actually doubled what we did last month, just to give you guys an idea. So, yeah, it was a no-brainer to go on ahead and make a special Monday night appearance, as it was always in the cards. So, really nice that we're able to do this. Not every day that we make a Monday night appearance. I know there's been a lot of talk about making the show be on Mondays. I'm entertaining that idea. I said it once before, but, there's just so many wrestling radio shows that, like you, from time to time, I happen to call on to them and share my thoughts on, what I had thought about the respective shows for that week. Is actually I have quite a few friends that do wrestling radio shows, and a lot of them, they do their thing on Monday nights, and a lot of them, they've been around for a good number of years right now. And, for me, it's just paying homage. It's just paying respect to them. I don't want to step on their toes. Everybody likes to do their thing on Monday night. I'm a Tuesday night type of guy. I like being able to gather up more information and really have that necessary time to be able to kick back and just marinate on what all I had saw from Raw. And, it's really nice to be able to come back with a fresh set of eyes. But I must admit, I do love it when we make a Monday night appearance. Could we make a lot more? Yeah. Would I be interested in doing something on a permanent basis? Possibly. It just all depends. When it's all said and done, it's a numbers game too. So, and when I say numbers game, it really depends on the support. So, if it's something that you would like to see happen, the best advice I can give you is let your voices be heard. Shout it out to us, Twitter, Facebook, hit us up on YouTube. Let us know, and if we get enough feedback, then that could definitely be something we could take into consideration going forward. One other note, and I want to just say this before we go any further, I love it when we have other people that have their own little wrestling radio show, and they happen to pop up in the chat room, and, they want to interact. I only have one request. If you have your own wrestling radio show, don't just pop up in our chat room. Do me a favor. Send me a personal message. Ask me if it's okay if you can pop up in the chat room, because we've actually had a few people that'll just deliberately pop into the chat room, say a few words, and then leave, while really the name of the game is just getting their name out there so that they can have some of our listeners. If you just come clean and you let me know what you're about, just be honest. And I could be like, okay, well, I tell you what, yeah, you can do that, but in exchange, how about, we've done it before. Like I said, I've popped up on other people's shows, and, there's that mutual camaraderie, but when you do some shady stuff like that and you pop up in the chat room and you go, yep, and then the next line you say RKO, and then you say Randy Orton, and you keep popping in and out. Unfortunately, that's how you make an enemy out of us. So if that's not your intent, hopefully you just had a crappy-ass connection. But if that's, not your intent, then, do the right thing. Say, hey, I like the show. It's pretty badass. If it's okay, I like to pop up in the chat room. it's keeping it real because, I don't like that. If you want to piss me off, if you want to piss everybody off over here that works really hard to be able to do these shows every single week and, to just have somebody pop up, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to mention some names. From time to time, I will pop up on the Don Tony, Kevin Castle chat room, and I will be talking up a storm in there with people. But the one thing that I do not do to guys like them, I don't sit up, I don't come in there with a handle that says the name of my show. That's just dead wrong. I think that is just so wrong on so many levels when you haven't even taken the courtesy to sit up and ask the show's hosts if you can pop up in their chat room with that handle. Because, let's be for real. If you come in there, just picture it, you're coming in there with a show handle and you're like, oh, it has to do it, At least I can sit up and say if I pop up with a handle of Infinity One Productions, people don't know what the hell that is. All they know is it's some type of a production company. They don't really know exactly what it's about. They aren't going to really know what it's about unless they go out of their way to read the profile. You know what I'm saying? So, show that proper respect because some of you guys that have your respect at wrestling radio shows, we don't even pop up in your chat room. That's how much respect we try to show you guys. We try not to step on your toes. If you want to collaborate, we've done it before. We're more than happy to collaborate, but show us that proper respect. When it's all said and done, it's not about my dick is bigger than yours. I would like to think that overall as a wrestling community, when it comes to us doing these wrestling radio shows, we all can be in agreement that we care about the sport. We want to make sure that it gets the right type of coverage that it gets. And you know what? Different strokes for different folks. Not everybody is going to like a particular style. Not everybody is going to like that tongue-in-cheek, raunchy, degrading, sometimes racist type of style of a DT and KC. Nobody's going to like that. Nobody is going to always like a professional style of, different strokes for different folks is all I got to say about that. I just wanted to say that before we go forward because it was something that I had noticed that went down during the weekend from this one particular guy that had a show, and he just kept popping up in and out, and it was just really irritating. And, so consider yourselves on notice. And, we're going to be watching our chat rooms a lot more closely just to make sure that we don't deal with trolls like that. So you are put on notice. Just keeping it real. Not really too much has happened in wrestling-related news since last we were on the air with you guys. Probably the one major headline that's jumped out there at us for this week is that Hulk Hogan has settled one of two lawsuits as he was successfully able to settle his lawsuit with Bubba the Love Sponge, as the exact details of that settlement has not been revealed, unfortunately. I'd love to know what the hell they ended up settling for, but Bubba the Love Sponge, he had released a statement on his radio show earlier today, or Monday rather. He's going to release another statement this Tuesday on his show, basically talking about how he never would have thought that Hulk Hogan truly did not know that he was being videotaped as he was having sex with, at the time, Bubba's wife, Heather Clem. And he eventually was convinced that Hulk Hogan truly didn't know anything about it. And, he just really felt kind of bad about the whole circumstances and some of the bad press that he's given to Hulk Hogan as he did a little bit of bashing of his own. We were distracted by the Bound for Glory coverage and all the other stuff that was happening a couple of weeks back. But, of course, in case you guys might have missed it, Mike Graham had died back on, I believe it was October 18th at the age of 61. He was the son of wrestler and promoter Eddie Graham. And, he was mainly known for doing his thing with the American Wrestling Association, the AWA, where he had feuded with Buke Zumphrey, or I'm probably pronouncing that name wrong, I apologize, but he had feuded with Buke over the AWA Light Heavyweight Championship for about 2 years. And in the 90s, he had became a road agent for the World Championship Wrestling. He did some stuff with Paul Orndorff, Dwayne Bruce, did some stuff down at the WCW Power Plant. His father was inducted into the WCW Hall of Fame, and he had did some stuff with them as he had accepted the induction. Now, unfortunately, on October 18th, he was found dead by his wife from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head at their residence down in Daytona Beach, Florida. Should be noted that his father and son had committed suicide in similar manners, the first being January 21st, 1985, and then the second on December 14th in 2010. Very eerie when you think about it. Definitely all of us here at Infinity One Productions, over here at the RCWR Show, Impact Showdown Radio, our deepest wishes, condolences, sympathies to the Graham family during this difficult time, fans of the Graham family during this difficult period. That is just mind-boggling when you hear that. Other than that, there really has not been anything else, wrestling news headlines, that has jumped out there. Of course, we got the WWE 13 game that's getting ready to come out tomorrow, or today right now, if you're on the East Coast. Unfortunately, there's a lot of GameStops that probably will not be opening up on the East Coast. So you guys that are on the West Coast, you guys got it made right now. So enjoy that game. Everybody else, at least on the East Coast, you probably actually won't be able to get that game until Wednesday, probably Thursday, hell, maybe even as late as Friday, depending on how much damage the storm does in the next few hours. All right, so we're going to go on ahead. We're going to open up the phone lines right now, get you all's reactions to Raw tonight. We got about 11 minutes left in the show. I didn't mean to go this long. If I'd have known I was going to go this long, I definitely would have made the show a little bit longer, so we apologize to you guys. But, yeah, call right now. Feel free to jump on in there. 646-478-3525. Once again, 646-478-3525. We got the lines open up for you right now. Kick back, smile, dial. Listen for those prompts. Get yourself heard live on the air. Let's go now to our good friend Dave from the Michigan area. Dave, you're live, my friend.
Fun.
Hey, pretty good, bro.
I just actually checked out that AWA thing on Netflix, and that's like a really good watch right there.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Tonight it was kind of like the pay-per-view last night. Kind of a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there was some good. Yeah, Wade Barrett Orton was a good match, but I mean, as a fan of what's going on right now, it seems like, do you really want to order a pay-per-view and the WWE title's not even going to be on the line?
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the world title. I assume that would be on the line.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, that's one thing I was looking at. I was like, man, why would you want to waste $50 or $60 just to watch an elimination 10-man tag?
Right.
Like, I'm sure there'll be other matches on the card, but as the main attraction, you're going to have Team Foley versus Team Punk. Which I don't know about that, how that's going to really work at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's probably only one bright spot of Raw tonight, which was, I'm trying to think hard here. I'm trying to look for something positive here. I mean, really, it was one of those type of episodes that was just, whatever.
Yeah, I did agree with you guys about the whole segment. I had a couple people who were watching it. We're all just sitting there, like, looking at each other like, okay, yeah, this is very good, but it's like, and they showed that one segment, too, was really hard to watch, too. I don't think you talked about that when they did that whole clip of it. You know, they did this whole, 5 or 10 minute piece on the whole story about it.
Yeah.
And that was hard to watch as it is right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 3 guys sitting around watching wrestling, and then they did the whole check thing, and that was like, okay, you can't really say enough. I mean, they're doing a good thing, but like it was just put in the wrong spot, like you guys were saying.
Exactly. It's like, you know, they really should have put that at the beginning of the show, you know, or like I said, just have it be bonus content for the WWE website, since they like doing WWE.com exclusives, because it really just kind of threw things off there.
So
I mean, you weren't really sure if you were watching wrestling or if you were watching some type of a Jerry Kids type of deal thing.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to ask you something real quickly.
Good.
Where do you think they're going to go the next couple months right now with CM Punk? Are they going to go John Cena after this, or are they going to go somewhere else?
I'm looking at what they're doing with CM Punk right now, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because we haven't confirmed it yet, but from what I've been able to gather so far, it looks like Vince McMahon was actually entertaining the idea of having the WWE Championship belt come off of CM Punk at Hell in a Cell. So Ryback was that damn close to actually becoming the new WWE Champion. I don't really know what's going to be happening with that belt right now, because we knew for certainty that CM Punk was going to be champion at least right on up to the month that WWE 13 was supposed to come out. And, you know, just to even hear that Vince McMahon entertained the idea of putting the belt on Ryback just before the release of the WWE 13 game, I mean, that sends a powerful statement about Ryback and the type of vibes that he's been given to everyone in the WWE. You know, I still think that they're going to remain diligent. They're going to stay the course. I think that they're going to just set up CM Punk to lose that belt to The Rock, and they've already flirted with the idea that John Cena could be getting a rematch with The Rock at next year's WrestleMania, and hey, it could very well be for the WWE Championship belt. I don't know, man. I'm hoping they do the right thing, leave the belt on Punk, let's see him drop it to The Rock. And, you know, because honestly, even if it's for a hot minute, I want to be able to see The Rock on a regular basis while he has that belt, and I want to see him do some great stuff with John Cena. Of course, how are they going to get over that whole once-in-a-lifetime gimmick that they did from this past year's WrestleMania? I have no clue, you know, because that's where it gets really complicated, because on the one hand, they don't want to do a rematch. They felt that, you know, they really need to man up to the whole once-in-a-lifetime type of matches. But, I mean, come on, when you're talking about making that money, especially in this economy, you got to go with what's smart, man. So I don't really know. Should be very interesting to see what happens, but that's the way I would go. All right, we got time to squeeze in one more call. We got about 6 minutes left. Let's go now to our good friend, homie, in the San Antonio area. Live on the air, my friend.
What's going on, Lee?
Hey, pretty good.
Hey, with the Monday night shows, maybe you can just do it like maybe once a month, have a Monday night show. Because personally, I love it when you do the Monday night shows. And I know how you're saying you don't like to step on other people's toes. Maybe you can just do a once a month kind of thing. But that's just my opinion on it. I don't see Punk losing the title anytime soon in the Royal Rumble. I think that's the money pay-per-view right now. Everybody wants to see Punk and Rock go at it. There's no way in hell they put it on Ryback. That would be the biggest mistake ever if they did that. Also, Raw, I agree with you. It was kind of so-so, and then the season Coleman thing, it just kind of like brought things down. And then the next segment was the 5-man thing. It's just, bad timing. It should have waited to after Raw, like you said, to do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's really hard to sit up and focus on a episode of WWE Raw that was really supposed to be dedicated to covering the fallout from Hell in a Cell, and you got only 3 weeks to go to really build up towards your next pay-per-view. Honestly, 3 weeks, man, it just seems a little bit too soon for me. Before we go off the air, thank you for that call, by the way. You know what? Good point. That is something maybe we could possibly think about. It depends. It really depends on a lot of things. Ultimately, it really comes down to how I'm feeling, because a lot of times I have a lot of stuff that I'm doing during the week, and Mondays, usually I just like to kick back and I just like to watch Raw and just marinate on it until the next day. But, it's something to think about. We had asked you guys in 2 separate polls. What did you think of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view? And we also asked you guys, what did you think of the TNA Bound for Glory pay-per-view? Now, 55% of you had said that Bound for Glory, hands down, was a 10 out of 10 pay-per-view. Now, if you want to just talk about overall, well, that's where the percentage really spikes up. Over 85% of you said that the Bound for Glory pay-per-view was better than the WWE Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, as there were quite a good number of you that had sat up and actually said that this Hell in a Cell sucked. And before we go off the air, I'm going to let you know the exact numbers. I'm going to pull it up right now. And, you can see these numbers yourself if you go to our website right now at infinityOneProductions.com. We're going to pull up the results for you. If you want to cast your votes, you still got a little time. But the way it's looking right now, we got 40% of the votes coming in that says that the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view was a bad pay-per-view. They gave it a 1 out of 10. Everywhere else, it's tied. So if you want to cast your votes, feel free to do so. We'll leave the poll open until we do the Weekend Report edition of the RCWR show coming this Saturday. In the meantime, folks, that's going to do it. We had a pretty good show tonight. I thank you guys for taking the time out to check out this episode on Monday night. Hey, we got Impact Showdown Radio coming up this Thursday at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We're going to be covering the fallout from TNA Impact, as it's the Open Fight Night edition. So you definitely want to make sure that you check that out. We'll have live fan reactions as always. The talk of wrestling does not stop right here. Be sure to go to our website at infinityOneProductions.com and hit us up on Facebook at Infinity One Productions, Twitter at InfinityOneProd. That's going to do it. Do hope you all are safe on the East Coast. Special shout out to you all. Hope you all are safe. If you can avoid going out in the next 20-plus hours, stay indoors. You'll thank me later. Until we see you guys this Thursday night for Impact Showdown Radio at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, I'm the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders. Y'all be safe and be kind to one another, folks. See you this Thursday night. Take care.